Hey everyone, and welcome to Bob Randall and Company Monday. That's right, today is Monday, the 26th of February, and we are live. That's correct, we are live, not Memorex. All right, so right now let's go ahead and introduce the gentleman sitting to my. If we're looking at the screen, anyway, over here. There you go, we got
Yeah,
it.
one of us.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
my
all that
friend,
matters.
your friend, everyone's friend, the magical performer, best known as Randall Santa
Hey,
Chickerlee.
everybody. Thank you, Bob, again, as always. Happy Monday, everybody. Can you believe it's show two already? Show two. It's the end of February already, guys. Next Monday it'll be March already. Just crazy. It's just
I know,
fantastic.
it's just, I mean, it seems like Christmas was just over with, and here we are already, encroaching on March already. So
Yeah.
craziness, man. I gotta tell you, outside right now in North Texas, it's 90 degrees in February 26th. Projected to be mid 90s today, breaking a record it's only been in the 90s five times in February in the Dallas Fort Worth area. So
We're supposed to
what?
break a record tomorrow. It's 62. So we're supposed to be
Wow, you're-
yeah, we're supposed to break a record tomorrow too. So it's fantastic. No snow. It's been fantastic. Snow, no snow.
yeah, it has. California has gotten a lot, the West Coast and
Right.
some of the
East Coast
intermountain
has too.
ranges along that western half of the country, but the rest of the country really. I mean, New York just had their first snow what a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's just unheard of. Now, with all that said, we do have a cool front moving back in the middle of the week, and I think our high for 1 or 2 days is only going to be mid 50s. So, winter's not gone yet. It's just it's going to hang on, and
Yeah,
we
we
kind of
got
go through this up and down roller coaster every year here in our region up until Easter, and around Easter we'll get that last cold snap, and then after that you can pretty much bet that spring has sprung and it's on to the bunnies on the trail
it's
if it happens.
summertime and you guys get the heat waves. You really do. You
Yeah,
get the heat
for
waves.
sure. But again, variety in the weather is a good thing, I guess, especially for you guys that live up north and have to deal with the cold and the snow so much. Kind of probably been a reprieve for you, hasn't it?
It's been a great reprieve not having those sub-zero cold weather and of course not snowing that much and it's been I mean it gets I of course all the time that I can't get out because I'm not allowed to go out. Um, I can. It's such beautiful weather. Usually, you don't want to go out because it's horrible weather. But hey, it looks nice looking out the window in the sunshine and everything else. And I sat on the Florida room the other day and enjoyed it. So this time of year, it's kind of odd to do that. So been loving
Yeah, but
every minute of it.
I guess the timing was good for not to have inclement weather
Yeah.
with you kind of being out of the weather yourself a little bit. But hey, give everybody an update. How are you feeling?
Doing good. Every day is a little bit better. Well, I'll go to my surgeon tomorrow to see what he says after almost 3 weeks out of surgery. 3 weeks. Thursday will be 3 weeks, and so, yeah. So it's crazy. More and more I think about what the doctors do when you're out during that 6 8 hours. It just boggles my mind. It just what 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 they do. What whoever thought of the process, whoever perfected it, whoever was the first guinea pig really scares the daylights out of me, you know. Um, so it's I tell you, I got to give those doctors thumbs up for what they can do and the nurses, the way they take care of you and everything else. It's a phenomenal thing they do, and without them, there'd be a lot of us that wouldn't be around. So it's a cool thing. It's gives us all many more days above the green.
It is amazing how much leaps and bounds have been made in the last 5, 10 years, and in medical terms and medicines, the different medicines
Yeah.
that they've come out with, and I was looking at it the other day. They were talking about uh, in the near future injecting your body with nano uh, tool that can actually go in and repair your body.
Oh
Now
wow, that'd be
that is
crazy.
out there, and
Yeah,
it's hard
that's
for my mind to wrap around that, but they're working on it. And I'm not going to say they'll never get it done because they seem to
It's
be.
it can yeah, I can see it happening someday. Maybe not in our lifetime, but maybe in the grandkids' lifetime, it'll be out there. I mean,
Who
look at all
knows?
that
Maybe by
AI
the
stuff
time
going on now. I mean, that
maybe by the
auto.
time the children get, the grandkids get up into their mid 30s, 40s, you know, they'll have a life expectancy of maybe over 100, for the average. That would be really cool.
Wow.
But, life seems to go by so fast. I mean, when you're in your youth, it drags on, and then the older you get, the quicker it goes by, and the more days you spend doing the things you love, the quicker it goes by. And it just seems like we just did a show a couple of days ago, and here we are back doing another show. It's just
It's
amazing how quick the week flies by now.
it is surprising how fast time can go. It's
Uh-huh.
it's it's hard to look back, think about you think about where the age we are. What have we done we've done many things all our lives, but it seems how fast it's been. It's it's crazy.
Well,
But
I
all we can
know.
do is think above
Speaking
that we have another one each day.
speaking for myself and you, I'm going to go ahead and jump out on a limb here, but I know there's lots of things you still want to do and still
Yeah,
capable of doing. So right now,
sure.
let's go ahead and give a shout out to AJ. He's joining us today. Charlie Johnson's on. Got a few Facebook users there. Let's see, it would be Sean White,
Ian's
Adam
on.
Renfro. Looks like Diane Vian's with us, Dana Prostrollo. Dana, I heard that you guys had a quite eventful night last night. Glad that Everett is doing better and on the mend. Hello to Ernie. Hello to Mike Hutchins. Tomorrow night's guest, by the way, Phineas the Elf, Jeff Willett. Deanna's on with us.
Deanna's
Uh,
on. We got a lot of Philip. Yeah, we got a lot of Randy's on.
Philip
Worrell.
Giannetto is on.
Jeff
I
is
hope I didn't
on.
murder that last name for you, Philip. Randy Worrell's on. Worrell. Gosh, man, we got a good crowd brewing today.
Fantastic. Thanks for joining us, folks.
Fantastic. Well, hey, you know what? I think it's time to let's get into that big old burger. You ready?
Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. I got the napkin ready.
Here we go. All right, Randy, you're up at the table first. Let's see what kind of mess you can make with this big burger.
Alrighty, guys. This is something that has to do with the ending of last year. When your 2023 holiday season was over, we all ended it either Christmas Eve or Christmas Day or a week later, whatever we did. Did you experience any type of like a disappointment or a letdown or a little depression after your Santa season or Mrs. Claus season was over? Did you experience kind of a little like, oh, now what do I do, man? What am I? Did you feel a little depressed, a little let down? And if so, what did you do to kind of help that change? Because we go from rushing for 2 months in and out, seeing all those smiles and happiness and doing everything every day to all of a sudden, boom, it's over. So if you experience any type of letdown or disappointment or depression, even depression, I don't know if it's the right word, but let us know how you dealt with it. How about you, Bob?
Uh,
Did you have a
yeah, I mean, it's always good when the season's over because I think most of us are tired and we're ready to try to get some rest. And for me, that's normally the case. I'll take a few days off, kind of get my legs back under me, and then hit the ground running. But this year was a little bit different for me. We were still in the middle of planning the North Pole Cornerstones event down in San Antonio, and so I took Christmas Day off and 27th, 26th, 27th, it was hitting the ground running, trying to wrap up all the final details so that we could, get down to San Antonio the first weekend in February. Actually, we got in there the last week in January, get set up and everything. So there wasn't a lot of letdown there. It was kind of like shift from one thing to the next. And I got to tell you though, man, by the time San Antonio was over with and I got home, I was like really, really, really tired this year and had to take a few days there to kind of get my legs back under me again. But hey, at our age, what can you expect? I mean,
so in really in a way you didn't really even your season didn't end until really till after Cornerstones was over. So your
Well,
season, your letdown was kind of like was done then. So it's
actually,
you've been kind of on the go. You didn't have that Christmas to now time to just all of a sudden boom, Santa Mrs. Claus is over.
the
So
bad part was I had to slip right into preparing for the
yeah,
Bob and Randall and Company season 3 and the Tuesday
there
Night
is
Live
no stopping, is
4.
there?
And it's been every day, all day, 12, 14 hours a day. I mean, it's worse than a job. Rebranding, I say rebranding, not really rebranding, but making new graphics and making some new videos, new lead in videos and videos that we play plug and play throughout the each show. And it's been fun. And I was telling you back in the green room before we went live that, this week I'll get caught up to that and maybe I can kind of, coast a little bit. I don't know that I'll be able to because still got a lot of coals in the fire. So, hey, for me, it's just busy, 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 but that's okay. I
So
don't mind. I mean,
actually, you don't like a lot of maybe Santas or Mrs. Clauses. Their season ends on Christmas Eve. Then they don't really do anything about Santa or Mrs. Claus until October. So there is that length of time. Of course, you're a little different because of what you do. So there probably isn't a letdown as much or a because you're always geared up for what's going on. So
yeah,
it's kind of like the way it is. Of course, I was preoccupied by the surgery, but I try to always keep every year. I always try to keep something right after the first year going. And I was lucky the first year I actually did have a few shows, magic shows, right after the first year before surgery. So that kept my mind going to kind of not go from high of entertainment, high of making the smiles and everything else to being gone. So it's kind of like that. I have to do it in tears, or not tears, but in tears of steps, a step down to uh,
yeah.
to be able to.
Sometimes it might bring you to tears, but
It does. It sure does. It sure does. Yeah. Sorry, we've got
all
a
right.
few.
Well, let's
Uh,
say hi to Daniel Pless. He's joined us now, and looks like Ben Bellhorn's with us. You want to catch those comments, Randy?
Yeah, we said
Like
Adam
Ben.
said yes, he's had it last year. Adam said last year. Didn't say if you did what you did, Adam, but you can put in there what kind of helped you get through it or whatever would be great. Next Facebook user is so
That's
we've got
Ben.
it's been have not like the rest just planning on classes and training to be involved. So that's just keeping yourself in the mix so you don't have that big letdown. Um, I prayed a lot about it. Good going, Adam. Good going. I'm glad you're doing good. Next one is
Parker Odell.
Parker. I was glad it was over due to being tired, but instantly missed it at the same time. And that's what Bob said. Oh, we work sometimes some long hours and every day. So it is nice to relax. Definitely then after the holidays, we are tired, but there is that little letdown.
Actually,
Started
Randy.
planning for the. I'm sorry.
Actually, that was Ernie. I was going to say.
Okay, Ernie. Um,
Parker said,
and
I'm looking into many things now, including clown classes. I wonder why a lot of us Santas are clowns, or vice versa. We're clowns first, then came into the Santa business.
business.
As we know, many greats. And, they have a leg up on us because they're used to performing at the highest of all high levels before they ever make it into the red suit. So the next one is Up Brothers. Had to rush around to take care of family Christmas. And then
Let's
Parker
see.
again. Can you see that comment? Unfortunately,
Unfortunately, I lost a mentor last week. Uh, John, yeah, of course, John
John
was.
Chewy.
It just we, it's just crazy how we talked about him, and he was in hospice, and then he was gone already. So
He passed
uh,
shortly after the show
right
went
after
off
the
the air.
show. So yeah,
Now,
it's
Scott
and
says
that's
this year I was really ready for a rest, but didn't happen. He's kind of like me. He's in Cornerstones, and we were wrapped up into that.
um.
Sh- Sean, what's your
Sean
next
said
one?
it's a big letdown as the last hours count down. I know at the end of I know at the near the end, it's much like the last of a musical. Yeah, you have worked on so hard, and your last performance, which is what it is. You kind of got to make it as you have booked a 2 week or 2 month engagement, and it's slowly wearing down. Is what exactly what Sean Hushy puts it. Looking forward to wrap up dinner with friends in February in Cornerstones. That's what she was looking forward to. She went to Cornerstones, and of course the Maps wrap up banquet. Um, I work all year to seem to prepare for this season, and that's what's fantastic. And everybody that's here, and so many other Santas, Mrs. Clauses, work all year, to we don't just hang the suit up and that's it until October. See, that's what's phenomenal. That's what makes everybody so much better, and so much better performers, and everything else, because they take the time, they go to classes, they learn, they listen, they connect with other people to make their performance better, so we can bring more smiles and more entertainment to the children and families. And that is a commendable to everybody that's here and everybody that does that. um, we're quickly leave fast. Friends help because we are in the same boat. That's true. We're like the maps saying is, we're better together, and we're all in this together too, because it is, like I've said many times before, it's our responsibility to be better, to be the best we can be for the children and for the families that we perform for, and we perform for them.
So true, so very true. All right, looks like the last comment that has come in on that. So let's move along to the second question. Now, real quick, Scott Sheraton was going to join us today. He got tied up with some other business and didn't get home in time. He is joining us on his mobile, I believe. But this question was his, but we'll go ahead and throw it out there. When attending or looking for a school, do you think scheduled after hours activities are important? And would that be a deciding factor in you deciding to attend? When attending or looking for a school, do you think scheduled after hour activities are important? And would that be a deciding factor in your decision to attend? Yay or nay?
I, it's always nice to have those extra after, if you do the class from 9 to 5, let's say. It's always nice to have some things planned after. Maybe not every night, but it's nice to, then that keeps that camaraderie, that keeps that fellowship even deeper. So I think it's a great thing. That's a great deciding factor to me.
Yeah, I think
Instead of
so
you're
too.
just on your own. Oh well, just
Yeah.
I
Now, we did learn something in San Antonio this month, and that is that lots of folks, especially being as far south as we were, and folks coming from California, Florida, and as far as Massachusetts and Canada, that a lot of folks were tired at the end of that first day after sitting in class all day. So it was a good thing that we really didn't have anything important scheduled for our first night. Everybody kind of went down to the restaurant bar area, hung out, as I had mentioned last week's show, and just got to know each other a little bit better or caught up on old friends. And so I think it's kind of like you said, Randy, not every night, and especially not that first night. It seems that that night is just needed to reconnect and to rest from the travels of the day. So
There were comments that came in on that last
oh
question.
which one was that, Angie?
One of them was Deanna,
Deanna.
and it says I
Deanna
was
says, I look forward to the end of the season. Um, Experience events at the resort can be exhausting. Um, and with added visits for all the other visits I had, I tried to make my last visit with the last child special for both the children and myself. So yeah, it's like Deanna said, it's just tiring. I mean, we put in some long hours, and especially some people still have real jobs, or if you're not, you're working 200 plus hours a thing is sand and traveling. So it is. And what's great, exactly what Deanna said, that last show could still be just as special as the very first one. And that's
Gotcha.
what makes that's what we really always have to remember, that regardless how tired we are, regardless how long the season is, that last child, that last show, that last family are just as important. And
That's a
that's exactly what.
quintessential professional that
Yeah.
can keep that energy throughout. no matter how tired you get, and make the first child's experience and the last child's experience and all those in between. Try to balance that out and make them all equal, and
Yeah.
put everything you got into each one of them. Philip Giannate, and not Philip. I'm sorry, Giannetto. Would you say that's how he pronounces it? Did you say that one, Randy?
You know
Best,
me and my
best,
pronunciations. I'm sorry.
best Santa season
Yeah,
today.
let's. Hopefully, Philip, we've got it fairly close. Hope we're not messing your name up too much. We apologize if we are. Um, Best Santa season to date, but was a little disappointed. I did not spend much time with my family during the holidays, and that's
That is a
that's
trade
also a
off.
that's a big trade off also,
Yeah, that's a
especially
good
if you
point.
have some have your parents, some have your brother's spouses, some have children, grandchildren, and if you're out working, you're not spending time with your family, and that can be a disappointing thing also. So you have to somehow level that out. Of course, your family wants you just as much on Christmas Eve and or whatever the night might be, and so does every other family. So
Okay, so let's go ahead and I think we got those follow-up questions on or answers on the first one there,
yeah,
Randy, on yours.
yep,
Moving on to the second question that we had, Parker Odell says, for me, it depends on the situation. There are some things that are not needed, like eggs on people's heads, but what Santa Tim Conahan does in Quantico is a trip to the Marine Corps Toys for Tots Museum before the first day, and I heard it's a good idea. Absolutely. I agree with that 100%. AJ says, yes, because Branson normally is busy and I like the fellowship afterwards and get to chat with all of you guys. Another good point. Sean says, pretty good Santa season, switching states, but the love of the children made it magical. Oh, that was Melissa. I'm sorry. Hey, Mel, good to see you. Okay, here's Sean's comment. It is something hard to organize on the fly after classes. Uh, People are sometimes left out. Better to have a couple organized activities. Very true. Did I miss any?
Ernie
Yeah.
says important, but not a deciding factor. Uh, Most of us get together and chat and tell stories about everything anyway. So as far as Ernie's concerned, it's not a thumbs up or a thumbs down. It wouldn't change that. So
There was one other one up there from Sean. It
Yeah, I
is
think that
nice
was
to
the one I
have.
started to read, and it jumped and went to it. My scroll went up, and that's when I read Melissa's instead of Sean's. It is nice to have after hours activities because a lot of class time doesn't give time to visit. I think it's important. That's from Sean White. Now then, moving on back down, Santa Mel says, I think eggs on the head is a great idea as it brings money and brought attention to wonderful charities. Very true.
yeah,
Very
the
true.
reindeer games were a crazy thing. It brought a lot of money to children's charities, and that's what that was for.
And again, those are after hours or those are extra curricular activities that you do not have to attend, are not mandatory. So if it appeals to you and you want to give to charity or you want to go see what it's all about, take the time to do it. If you've done it and it wasn't for you, then it's perfectly understandable. That was to Parker's comment, she says. All right, I think those have slowed down. Don't look like anything else coming in. So let's go ahead and throw this third question out there. This is mine. This kind of has a follow up to what Scott had asked. In your opinion, do exhibitors, we're speaking of vendors, but as we found out in San Antonio, vendors could mean folks that you hire to come in to do things like put up truss or set up stage, those sort of things. And in the wording of the contract, you got to be careful when you're working with a third party. So for the beneficiary here, we're going to call them exhibitors. So in your opinion, do exhibitors add value to a training session or distract? Is having exhibitors at a school something you consider when deciding to attend? Exhibitors, yes. Exhibitors, no. What's your opinion on that, guys?
I think yes, it's great to be able to go to a thing and see what new is out there, or to come home with a new hat or a new belt or or a new set of coins, whatever it is. I think it's a nice thing. To me, it adds to every class. I don't think there has to be 20, 30, 15 exhibitors, that many, but enough to have it. I think it's a nice thing to have
Yeah, I think so
myself.
too. I enjoy the vendors. Again, it's part of your downtime.
Right.
It's going back and socializing with those vendors, exhibitors, whichever you want to label them. Getting to talk and chat with some of your friends back there. I know that during San Antonio, I kept going back and checking, making sure the vendors didn't need anything. Christy Kovic was actually in charge of the vendors room, and at times she was busy in her booth. So as a follow up, I kind of went through, make sure everything was good for everybody, and of course you got to stop and talk, and then there was a few of the attendees there, and we get talking about what they were looking at purchasing, and I mean it's just a great way to socialize and get to know and see, like you say, the newest of the new products. Spangle debuted a lot of new stuff in San Antonio that he hasn't talked about prior to San Antonio, so I thought it was great too. All right, so Parker says, for me, I don't want the exhibitors to be the main focus, like the example, a timeshare presentation, but there is a need for vendors. I agree. And something else that has come up in the past is some folks say, don't put the vendors or exhibitors in the classroom. Have a separate area for them. And in San Antonio, we listen. We put them in a separate room that was connected to the classroom with a divider and all, but they were off to the side. Ernie says, absolutely yes. You get to see all the goodies that are out there. Sean White said, I say yes. It is nice to talk face to face. Spangle got all of her money. Hey, Spangle gets a lot of money from all of us, I think. He's always coming up with something cool.
But it is. It adds to the whole grouping of getting together and talking, because you definitely go there and you look at, oh, look at this, and so you're connecting with other people too, as long as it doesn't distract, like you said, Bob, in the same room, detract from the classes and all that. But then there's also that dividing line. You want to make sure that they're giving their time, they have enough selling time, that everybody's out there to make it worthwhile for them showing up, because next year they might not want to come if they don't make enough money to make it worthwhile. So
Well,
it's a
that's a good
fine line to walk, to give them enough time or to not give them too much time.
and that's a great point and kind of something that I was fixing to ask, and it kind of leads me into that, Randy. Sean was in San Antonio with us, and she has said a lot of great things here. Sean, my question to you, dear, is was the number of vendors we had in San Antonio, was that a good balance? Was it too many, or do you think that an event no larger than what we had, because we wanted to keep our numbers down on purpose to keep that intimacy? Uh, would it be better to have less, more, or was we pretty much great where we were at? Uh, Parker says he needs to. Parker Odell says, I need Spangle to make me a pilot's license. Yeah, Parker, just reach out to him. Send him a private message. He'll get with you and help you on that. AJ said, yes, because I bought some stuff in Branson, which I needed. John says, I was able to plan a new costume being ordered for the season. I am thankful. That's another point. You know, when you do meet the vendors face to face and get to see the materials, the furs, the embellishments, the buttons, the different things that they offer, if they have a portfolio, which most of them do have there, and then of course samples on the rack for you to look at. But they can also measure you. They can go ahead and take your complete seamstress measurements that's important to making suits, shirts, vests, whatever it may be that you want made. You don't have to buy at that time, but go ahead and get the different seamstresses and seamsters to measure you. Let them put that in their files. That way they've got it, because so many times you have a something new made and they'll send you a little sheet, put your measurements on, and you're not used to measuring yourself or having someone that's not in the seamstress business or clothing apparel business to measure you. And when you get it, it doesn't fit exactly the way you want it to. That's an important part. Visit those folks in the vendor's room, get them to measure, get them to put your measurements on their files. That way they've got them in case in the future you decide you want to have a vest made or a shirt made or, an ensemble made for you and Mrs. Claus.
Mike says it from he was down in Cornerstones. He said it was a great balance being there for being the first year. It was a great balance of vendors and all that. So he thought it was a not too much, not too little. So I think it's a good thing. Sean says same thing. It was perfect size for the class and everything. Um, so I think you guys hit it on right on the head of the nail there on the amount of people that were there, vendors and timing and location, and everything else. So
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Sean. But those are important things as we go forward and plan for next year. So Sean says more would have been overwhelming. I agree. Parker says what I wish for was an exchange swap meet scenario, like stuff from retiring Santas or stuff isn't used and you buy it from there. Another good point. A used clothing sale. Have a used table and attendees and even vendors if they've got some seconds or something that was returned that they could put on the table and sell at a discounted price. I like that idea, Parker. Great idea. Nick Casey says, sorry, I meant how many attendees were at the Cornerstones event. I guess he's asking us how many was there. We had 40 paid attendees and all told 70 counting vendors and those of us that was involved in Cornerstones with our uh, folks that helped us set up and everything. So right at 70. And again, Nick, the thing behind that was we wanted to keep it small because we had performance breakout sessions each day where we divided into smaller groups, and each one of the instructor corps was at a table with that group and helped them through planning and their performances and just there to answer questions or give ideas. And if you get too many, then you're going to have too many folks in a breakout and it just wouldn't work the same. So small groups, intimacy, 1-on-1, 1-on-5, 1-on-7, whatever that may be, seemed to work. And that was something that we had planned on from the beginning. And again, if you have any questions, you can always ask. I know you're up there in the Northeast. Ask Sean White, ask Mike Hutchins. They attended and they were both a very big part of what we did during the weekend. And Mike says around 40 attendees. Perfect, Mike. Thank you, sir. Uh, Santa thrift store. That's what he was talking about. Nick says that seems like a perfect ratio, and it was, Nick. It worked out perfect. We couldn't have asked for the event to go any better. It was a 3-day event. We started at 1. Opening ceremony is 1 o'clock on Friday, and we wrapped up Sunday night for the banquet, graduation dinner, roundtable plated dinner that we had. Fantastic time. We took Saturday night, went down to downtown San Antonio to the Riverwalk, rode the river barges. We had 2 boats full of Santas, Mrs. Clauses, and elves, and we sang our hearts out for the whole trip. And it was a nice weekend, super busy weekend on the Riverwalk. Elbow to elbow people for as far as you can see. All the outdoor dining tables, they all have outside dining along the river setting, and they could hear us coming, and boy, did we grab their attention. They're looking, waving, grabbing their cameras, singing along with us. We had it was also competition for little drill teams. We're talking about girls, up to teenage and below. And we had, I don't know, maybe a dozen, 14 standing on one of the overhead bridges that arches right over. It's a walkway over the river itself that the barges go under. And they were doing cheers and they seen us coming and they all got up on the rail and they were looking and it's like they couldn't believe their eyes. And the boat that I was in was the first boat leading. And they went from doing cheers to singing along with us for Christmas. And when we passed under them, they ran to the other side of the bridge and finished. And then they realized there was another boat coming with Santas. They ran back to the other side and was singing along with them and did the same thing. It was so cool.
see that experience there is something you're just going to remember. I mean, everybody that attended that's something just to remember. Um, it, that's fantastic. That's oh, got another few comments.
Yes, yes, Parker. Well, let's see here. I'm trying to figure out where we left off at. Up here, we got so much coming in again. Uh, Ted Flynn's joining us. Hello, Ted. Let's see. Parker says, here's some news from what he's heard. Bill Quesa has said, and this is true, I can confirm this, that they're moving the American synopsis, Santa America synopsis from year to next year due to uh, John Shuey's passing. There's something that Rex Ray and John and gosh, I can't think of who else it was, but three gentlemen have been working on. It's the inevitable, uh, you know, scenario. Anyway, there'll be more on that in future dates here coming up. Sean White says we were nonstop, so much fun. It was kind of nonstop, but it was fun and it wasn't too much, Sean. I thought it was a good balance. I hope to see you there next year, Randy. Sean says.
Yeah, I won't have this, so I'll be there.
Deanna says, talk about making memories. I'll bet the Riverwalk folks are still talking about all the clauses they saw on the barge singing their hearts out. I think so, Deanna. And I know our two captains were pretty pleased when it was all over with. They were ear to ear smiles. And normally the captains they tell you about the history of the buildings you're going past and the different restaurants, how long they've been there, the history along the Riverwalk. It's a narrated boat ride. Well, they were happy. They didn't have to say nothing. They sat back there and got to sing along. They were actually singing with us, so it was pretty cool. Santa Mark says hello from Alabama. Hey, Mark, how you doing, buddy? Hadn't heard from you in a while. AJ also wants to know if you're coming to Branson, Randy. Gosh, they're trying to spread you thin, aren't they?
I got a
All right. Well,
busy year of magic, so we'll see what happens.
okay. Well, we spent a big portion of today's show, as always, on those first three questions. We want to thank everyone so much for your opinion and your expertise, your experience in all these matters that we ask about. This is the first part of the show is about you. It is about what you like, what you think, uh, what you would like to see different or better. And Randy and I pose those tough questions to you, and you guys always seem to come with the answers. All right, Randy, you ready to jump on into this? Huh? Did you say something, Angela?
No.
Okay. You ready to jump into this SantaCloset.org?
That's the ones we got to do next.
Let's do it.
Hey everyone, Angela Mack here for Bob, Randyl and Company Live, the show about nothing. Season 3 of Bob Randyl and Company Live is brought to you by santascloset.org, where you can find all your accessories for the discriminating Santa, Mrs. Claus, and the elves. Visit Santa Wade's website at santascloset.org today, where they are known for delivering unique, value-packed Santa and Mrs. Claus accessories since opening in 2004. The goal has always been to provide both a superior customer experience at a tremendous value. Their products are fairly priced, and Santa Wade strives to bring many different products to the Claus community. Visit the website and make your next season a truly special one. This is Angela Mack reminding you all to catch our show every Monday at 3 p.m. Central. Thanks for watching. Now let's get back to Bob, Randyl, and Company Live and today's Monday Santa's Closet Trivia.
Fantastic. I like that new lead in there. Love it, love it, love it.
Very good. Wow.
Worked hard on that one. Okay, so Randy, let's go ahead and throw that question out there for him.
All righty, here we go. What is the first mention in English literature of a nightcap cloth garment designed to be worn on your head to keep you warm at night? What is the first mention of the English literature of a nightcap, the cloth garment designed to be worn on your head to keep you warm at night?
Yeah, after last week and Scott talking about nightcaps in a different form and fashion, I had to make sure I put cloth garment on there.
Yeah, that's it. You had to make sure you distinguish the proper nightcap here.
Yeah, and a little bit of history that I did find out when researching this. The drink itself that you take at night, say a hot chocolate or a warm glass of milk, is also called a nightcap, and that was referred to because of the term nightcap, the cloth garment. It all ties together. So Nightcap is nightcap. It just has two different ways of looking at it.
And there's the other people that have a few nightcaps, but
Okay, now there's something that we need to tell you guys on this, and we need the name of the person and the publication. We'd like to see when, by who, and where was it published. So that's going to make it a little bit harder. I see AJ and Charlie's quick on them fingers as always. And we'll let Elf Angela decipher who gets the right answer there. But we're looking for not only the name of the publication, but the person's name attached to that publication and the name of that publication. So that makes it a little bit harder. All right, so right here, we're not going to do an out video. We're cutting back on our videos this year, and normally we'd play an out video here, but we're not. What we are going to do though is we're going to go ahead and lead into the ECN video. That is the Elfin Chatterbox News. Over to you, Angela.
Good afternoon and welcome. I'm Noah Lott with Elfin Chatterbox News Report, reporting for the Bob, Randyl and Company live show. Remember, you can catch our live reports every Monday at 3 p.m. Central. Now back over to you guys in the studio for the latest on this breaking news event.
That's right, breaking news, announcing right here, right now, and Scott kind of let the cat out of the bag in one of his comments a few moments ago, but TNL Productions, that's Tuesday Night Live, and Monday, Bob and Randall, that is TNL Productions, will be attending the ISC 2024 in Memphis. We will cover the event and we have secured two booths. Two booths will be set up in the vendor's room and will be located right across from Spangle the Clown. School for Santa booth. So fantastic. We're going to cover it like we did Gatlinburg. It was something that needed to be done. And we were just trying to make sure that we could get in, have the finances, get everything done there. Again, guys, there is cost associated with putting these shows on. This is one of them that we're talking about. When we go out and cover an event from start to finish or 2-day covers like we did in Gatlinburg, it takes finances to do that. So we can't always get out to do them all, but we're trying to do the ones that are most important. All right, next thing on the agenda is the School of Santa's 2024, Branson, Missouri. Of course, that's July 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st. Keynote instructor is Santa Mac, Jeff McMullen, Crinkle University. And Spangle said there was a few seats left. So he's figured out a way to push some tables off to the side and stretch the room with a room stretcher and make a little bit more room. So he's trying to fill this booger up this year. So if you want to go to Branson, now's the time to reach out and get it while there's a few seats left. All right, Randy, over to you.
of course, then coming on in March, the 22nd through the 24th is the Master Claus Academy down in Columbus, Ohio. Same thing with Jeff McMullen and Lee Edwards, two incredible performers, Santas and of course clowns and everything else. And Ben lets me know there's only one ticket left. So please get a hold of Ben Bellhorn if you want to go or need to go, or just it be a great weekend for a class there. But there's one ticket left, just one. So get a hold of Ben Bellhorn and sew that last ticket up to go. There is one left for there. So that'll be an incredible class.
That's right. And that's Lee Andrews and Jeff McMullen. So where can you get two clowns, Santa performers together? And that's going to be incredible.
Then, of course, coming up.
That's right. I mentioned this last week. I'll mention it again this week before we drop it off here of the page. But North Texas 11th annual 2-day classes for SatBob, Santa and the Business Being Santa, is getting pushed back to late summer, early fall for this year, 2024. We don't have a date set yet. We do have a location that we've looked at that is more than likely going to be where we go this year, switching locations after, I don't know, six or 7 years in the same location. But I think it's time to go a little bit north of the Metroplex and serve all of North Texas, all the way up to the Red River and southern Oklahoma. We've had some requests. Not enough folks to put together a whole class. So if we move it where they can kind of come together, I think it may work out. And so we'll let you have more on that in upcoming days.
And of course,
Okay, Randy, let's go ahead and move along to our upcoming guest for TNL.
can you believe tomorrow night's the first guest of the year? An incredible guest. This guy is from across the border here in Canada. Mike Hutchinson, just an incredible performer, guitarist, just plays Phineas the Elf, just a great character. He'll be the special guest tomorrow night on Tuesday Night Live. Don't miss out. You guys will be entertained from the get-go.
Yeah, he did a special presentation for us in San Antonio as Phineas, and played the string instrument, sang a little tune, did some really cool stuff. Now, I don't know if he knows it or not, but we're going to ask him to sing tomorrow night, either his ukulele or his guitar. It doesn't matter to us, or both. We may ask him to do 2 songs. Who knows?
I
But
think he knows
it'll
now
be
since he's on, Bob. I think he knows now.
it's going to be a fantastic show. Still working on the script, Mike. I'm not quite through with it. I'll get it sent to you late tonight, hopefully not too late. That way you'll get a chance to look it over and make sure everything looks good to you.
Phineas
All right.
is a pro at helping also Santas through big events. So if you got any questions about that, it's like Phineas plays an elf, of course, just like Mrs. Claus is that helper to Santa. So Phineas does a great job at that. So if you got
Oh,
any
he does.
about
He's
that,
such an entertainer
yeah,
and so well rounded, uh, intelligent, been in the industry for a long time. Hey, he's not a bad cook either, I hear.
besides Canadian, but it's okay. We love him even though he's across the northern, actually southern border from me. If you think about it.
That's true. But home is home, so we can't hold that against him.
No, not at all.
All right, so the only other thing we have lined up at this point is the following week, next Tuesday week from tomorrow night, March 5th, Russell Hurd. He is one of our North Texas Santas. Mentored him for a number of years. He's been to Sat Bob's a number of times. Comes to all of our events that we have for the Texas State Santas. He's also a fellow brother in the Lone Star Santa. So he's worked at big box stores, the sporting goods stores experience a number of years. He's worked for Mitch Allen in a whole host of different locations. He's got quite the resume, so he's going to be a very interesting guest. He'll be with us next Tuesday week, March the 5th. And I do have a whole list of folks that I'm in the process of securing. I don't know if you can see all those names or not quickly, but there's maybe a dozen that we're working on getting put onto the schedule, penciled in for a date. So
They're always great shows. I mean, everybody can learn something on the Tuesday Night Live show. If you laugh, if you cry, if you listen to what the experiences they have, don't miss them. Of course, they're always on YouTube or whatever, but it's fun to watch them live on that big screen TV and everything. So,
and that goes for today too, Randy. I mean,
yeah, and we're all
we
on.
have a lot of stuff that gets shared here. And it's and as Randy says, they're all free. All right, Randy, let's move along. Do we have a winner on our trivia, Angela?
No.
No winner.
Oh, we got something's.
That was a tough one. I was afraid it was going to be because of what I asked. Again, the name of the publication, when it was published, and the name. So, who was closest? Charlie? You remember Angela?
I mean, it doesn't say.
She's looking.
It on
Okay, well, Charlie's got 19th century. Actually, Charlie, my research says it was earlier than that, by about 5 centuries. So go back and look at English literature, 14th century, and see if you can come up with Anybody out there, if you can come up with the name of the publication, it's actually going to be uh, a book or a synopsis
Wow.
that
That's a
we're
big
looking
word.
for. Do you see
Synopsis.
the answer there, Randy?
Yes, sir.
Do you have a better description of what I'm asking for?
The origin.
We give away that it's 5 centuries more than what
Yeah,
Charlie.
and we've already got. I believe the answers have already been who the gentleman's name is, and
Who
oh
came
no,
up with that? Do you,
that's what's missing. The in the name is the name of the book the last answer there. I believe we
yeah,
pretty sure.
that's what I'm saying. I think it's a book. I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah.
I was trying not to
Say the name of the book, right?
trying to say
That'd
the
have been
name of the
rather obvious.
book.
Century, we need the name of the
Author,
and then book.
name of the book, century, which I've already given away. I went ahead and put that out there. It's 14th
And,
century. Look
and
back at
then
the 14th century for Nightcap and see if you guys can come up with a.
author and then the name of the book. So two more things is all you're looking for is the author and the name of the book from the 14th century that has to do with the nightcap.
Around, we got so many answers going on up here. AJ said he said something here. Okay, you guys work on that just a little bit longer. I didn't think it was that hard.
It's too complicated, to be honest.
Okay.
I don't know where you come up with these things at.
Well, and I can tell you exactly. I asked Bing. This one was I asked Bing, Bing.
Oh, okay. I haven't tried to Google it myself. All right, just move
Okay, well,
along.
let's move along and we'll come back to that and address that at the end of the show. If nobody gets it, we'll figure something out here. But sorry, I didn't mean to make it that hard. I thought it was fairly simple. I can tell you that the origins of the word nightcap date back to the Middle Ages, where the first mention of the nightcap in English literature was in the 14th century. Now all you need is the name of the person that wrote it and the name of the book. That gives you a big heads up right there. So see what you can do with that. All right, Randy, are you ready? Let's go ahead and move along to tips.
Let's give it Santa's tips a try.
All right, here we go.
Hi guys, and thank you. Yes, it is Santa's tips time. So we're going to start out with something that kind of can use as both for salesmanship and of course as magic. And it's because it's something that you can sell as you're going to teach the children a trick. Now, at the end, there's a little twist that Santa can do because Santa can do a little more magic than the children can. But what you do is you tell the children, they ask the children, have you ever played with dominoes before? And of course, the children were really not sure, but you tell them, well, dominoes have numbers on one side. This domino has 4 numbers on this side. And this domino has 1, 2, 3 numbers on this side. And this domino has 6 dots on this side. And they tell the children, they kind of wonder, what are you saying? Wait a minute, I'll tell you again. This domino has 1 dot on this side and 4 dots on this side and 3 dots on this side. And of course, 6 dots on this side. Of course, you try not to explain it too much, but you're going to tell the children, you are going to explain them. You're going to teach them a secret. You're going to teach them a trick that as long as they can keep a secret, it's a very, very easy thing to do. Now, dominoes, we know that because it kind of tricks the eyes of a domino, but you have to make sure that you don't when you show the 4, make sure you don't show the other 6 on that side, because that would really cause a real problem, because you really don't want to show all the 6, because then the 4 wouldn't work. Same with this side. When you show the three, when you show the hand here, you want to make sure you don't show all the three, because that would really mess things up, because that would show the three. Now that would be a real problem, but of course Santa has a solution for everything. And of course Santa will ask you, how many dots are there? And you see there's a lot of dots. But this is something that is a magic trick called What's Next. And you can actually have the children make it with a card, just a card. Now this one is a metal, and it actually has little pieces of magnets on it, and I will slide those around to put them where they're supposed to go originally. But the best thing to do is to have the children, you can make the child, have the children make a card just like this with the three dots, so it looks like one, and you can tell them the whole story about the different sides, three dots and four dots and one dot and six dots. But then Santa can do just that little more magic at the end. Santa can take it with the card he has and then do the three dots. Of course, the dot with the extra one on this side, of course, and you can slide this one to make it so it's six here. You don't show them that, of course. But it's just one more thing you can do a little magic. You can get the children involved, because they can make a prop, even though they're not going to have the magical prop. They can make a prop that they can keep. So it's something you can sell besides teach them. And then Santa does that little bit more magic. Or Mrs. Claus. It doesn't really have to be Santa. Mrs. Claus is just as entertaining as Santa can be. In fact, it's kind of fun when Mrs. Claus does it, because then Santa can just then Santa can react the other way around to Mrs. Claus, letting her do the magic. But it's a double dipper for doing a little magic at a performance, at a house party especially. And then you also can sell something kind of like, I don't know if you want to use it an upcharge or a little time involved in doing your performance, because they can make one together. And you can bring pieces of cardboard and magic markers, and they can just draw circles on them. It doesn't have to be fancy, but you can walk them through the whole routine. But then Santa takes it, or Mrs. Claus takes it one step further, big step further, and brings the magic of Christmas and makes it all the dots and the six dots and the three dots, and of course then the eight dots. So it's something to think about. It's called What's Next. It's a magic prop that you can buy at online or any local box magic store. But it's nice to have. It packs very flat in your case to have along. And then pieces of cardboard and magic marker don't cost much either to add in something. So that adds two things from tips, tricks, and of course salesmanship. And that's what we want to do. We want to sell ourselves. We want to be a little different every time we go out there. So again, there's a lot of Santas, and there's a lot of wonderful Santas, Mrs. Claus out there. But again, you're trying to sell yourself to work all the time and to enjoy, and to bring those smiles. So do a little bit of both. Thank you guys so much. What a pleasure. I'm so thankful and blessed for this. See you soon.
All right, fantastic, man. That was great. I like that. Okay, so I'm doing a little research here on our trivia question.
Hope I gave you enough time.
Keeps giving me the same thing when I ask the question. So maybe the portion that I added as the answer was a little bit too hard for everybody to find. We're talking about going back to the 14th century, and so let me just go ahead and give the answer to that, and we'll double up next week on the trivia, since we messed this one up. So the origins of the word nightcap date back to the Middle Ages, where the first mention of nightcaps in English literature was in the 14th century in Geoffrey Chaucer's The Canterbury Tales. The Canterbury Tales, as my research tells me here. I go back up here where see if I can find it here. Canterbury Tales, written by Geoffrey Chaucer in Middle English between 1387 and 1400, is widely regarded as Chaucer's magnum opus. Let's explore this literary treasure. It's a tale that presents a part of a storytelling contest by a group of pilgrims traveling together from London to Canterbury. The destination is the shrine of St. Thomas Becket at Canterbury Cathedral. Where they talk about the first meal anyway. That is the first publication mentioned of a nightcap being worn. So anyway, better luck next week. I promise I'll make it easier. I thought that was going to be fairly simple. And the reason that we went with the nightcap to begin with.
Scott's fault.
Yeah, really.
Oh, Scott's fault.
He's
Blame
not
it
here
on
today,
Scott.
right?
He's not here.
Yeah.
Blame it on Scott. He's not here.
You're not here. Let's just blame it on him. So the reason being is my new segment today. So if Angela will go ahead and lead us into that, then we'll pick it up from there. All right, so that gives you an example of what we're talking about here. This is a particular book that I was given in Branson this last year, and I used it at the mall. Each year, I have a one day where they take me down to the indoor playground, and the Mesquite Independent School District invites in families and children, and I read to them. And I normally do twice a night before Christmas, and I thought this year we would change it up, do something different. This is a great little play on the traditional song that we all know, "What My True Love Gave to Me." And the really cool part about it is this little girl that wrote this, as we mentioned in the video there, was only 7 when she jotted that down, and within 2 years it had sold over 100,000 copies. And it's really fun to sing. You can get the children involved. Pass out a little sheet with the names on there, if they're old enough to read, of course, school age, and place in each one of the different types of animals where the blank is. Fantastic. It's fun. It doesn't matter if you can sing or not. Actually, we were going to kind of try to sing along with it today, but what I forgot was when a video is playing with music, we are muted, so couldn't do it. Anyway, the fun part of what's that, Randy?
I think the funniest part, the 12th day, is a cat.
Well, and that's exactly where I was headed.
I think that's the best. And a cat.
You go all through this whole
Don't y'all be
scenario,
talking
or be
bad
one of the
about me.
dogs.
Don't be
Huh?
talking bad about me. I'm on the road.
Yeah, that's
Too late.
okay. Let me finish this, Scott. Hang on. So anyway, each day you go through the different names and you go back through it as you would traditionally. And when I got to the 12th day, I paused and I looked at the crowd, the children, backwards and forth, and I got this puzzled look on my face, and I shut the book. I said, on the 12th day, my true love gave me a cat. A cat. What was she thinking? Can you believe she gave me a cat? They just busted out laughing. They thought it was so funny. So fun little
Love
book.
it.
Gets the children involved.
Love it.
It's something that's down on their level that they can participate in and have fun with. Try it out. You can find it. There's a bunch of used copies of it out there that you can get for $5, $6, $7, $8. But if you don't have that book in your book bag, try to get one. It is a fun book. Each week, though, Nightcap will debut a different book that is good for not only uh, home visits, but any event where you can read a book. So that's Nightcap. All right, Scott, what's the deal, man?
Hey, man, I hear y'all talking bad about me. I had to get over
No,
here and jump on here.
Spangle was talking bad about you. It wasn't Mayor Randy.
Well, y'all running the nightcap trip on me. I didn't know about that. We'll have a nightcap. Don't worry about that.
Yeah. Well, it's
I just,
a warm glass of milk is a nice nightcap. Everybody needs a warm glass of milk if they can't sleep.
That's right. Hey, I just wanted to jump on here and remind everybody to come see the T&L crew, at least Bob and I, and Melissa probably, and Spangle at the ISC in Memphis in April.
That's right.
And
Two booths.
and don't forget Gatlinburg's coming up next year, and we'll be there as well. And we're looking at seeing if we can make it to Maps. So the one in the fall. So hey, keep your ears open for upcoming news on the road with T&L.
That's right. Trying to get out there, trying to cover these events. Can't everybody afford to go to these events? All we can do is give you a little sampling, a little taste, a little visual to see what you're missing. Make you want to save your pennies, nickels, and dimes, and try to get out and enjoy one of these events, if not 2 or 3. What's that?
I'm doing it, Bob.
Saving his pennies.
Oh, it's pennies. Okay. I couldn't tell what that was, Scott. I was beginning to
Pennies,
worry there. I didn't know
nickels,
what you had in that
dimes,
baggie.
As long as you don't not give me your 2 cents worth,
Yeah. Pennies,
I just wasn't sure what he had in that baggie.
I cleaned my ashtray out.
Yeah.
All right, so fantastic. Deanna says the 12 Dogs at Christmas. Elizabeth, that's the name of the book that we just debuted. Like I say, you can find it on Amazon used, or you can find some new copies out there. But reach out and try to get you a copy of it, because it is a fun book and it goes pretty quick. I mean, doesn't take but maybe 3 minutes out of your performance schedule that you have, a 15-minute, 30-minute home visit, whatever. It's really quick, easy, and fun.
It's good that it's something else that children can relate with. There's sometimes the children can't relate to Lords of Leaping and ladies dancing and all that. So this just adds to the fun of that. Brings it back to nowadays a little bit more. And then the ending with the cat, you can play that up so big. That's just going to be a capper.
It's just doggone amazing.
It's the best you could scratch up, huh?
Guys. Okay, well, Scott, you done went and made Spangle mad now.
Say that again, Bob.
You done went and made Spangle mad.
No, it's all right. He'll get over it.
Said you didn't mention Branson School of Santa's T&L crew, July 18th to the 21st, 2024.
I couldn't do it all. You had to carry some of that load, Bob.
I already mentioned it. It was in our segment earlier.
Oh, okay. Well, I just want to remind people that T&L is traveling more this year, and we're going to bring you even more coverage than we did in the past 2 years. And we're geared up with more cameras and more ability to do a better job with a lot more definition. And we hope that you enjoy the live remotes from all over the state of Texas, Oklahoma, Michigan, Tennessee. Well, we'll be in Tennessee, and I'm sure there's more,
Wherever we may travel. There's an event, we're going to try to get out and cover it. So, yeah. All right, guys, we got anything else to finish up with today? Got any final thoughts, Randy?
Final thoughts is just thank you again for everybody joining us again at the beginning of this season. It's going to be a wonderful year. Don't forget Tuesday Night Live, all the great guests that are going to be on. Join us whenever you can. Watch us on YouTube. Again, thank you from the bottom of my heart for everything. Bob, Scott, Angela, you guys just rock it. Thank you. And so
Yeah,
does
everybody
everybody
keep
else.
their prayers going out for all the Santas and Mrs. Clauses that have had losses and definitely are ill and need our prayers and the strength of the good Lord above to give us the strength to move on, even with losses we've had, either physical or people that we've lost in our lives or Santas we've lost in the community or Mrs. Claus. So please keep everyone in your prayers.
So, well, you done it again, Scott.
I've repeated myself.
No, you upset Spangle again. You didn't mention Missouri in your list of states.
Oh well, I can't see the comments. So.
Oh, my favorite comment of
I forgot Missouri because I'm in Missouri so much. I feel like I live there.
That's true too. Okay, my favorite comment of all from today's show. This is from AJ. AJ Bailey says, "See ya in 4 months, clown." Oh, AJ, you're a hoot, brother. You're a hoot. All right, guys. Okay,
Michael,
we love you.
We love you guys, and we always tell somebody that you love them today, whether they're somebody you know or you don't. It's a matter of a peace of mind and a piece of our heart we can give to everyone anywhere. You know, somebody will look at you and say, "What?" But hey, a hug and an "I love you" goes a long ways. God bless and take care from right here in Oklahoma and on the road with TNL Live.
You go out on the street corner and start hugging people and tell them you love them and they're complete strangers, they're going to put you in a straitjacket, brother.
Well, I do it often, so that's why I'm not there. I just got out of the jacket.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for joining us on the Bob Randyl and company down at the bottom there, popping in mobile out in his vehicle, traveling through the state of Oklahoma. Thanks everyone for watching. We will see you right back here next Monday, we hope. Tell a friend. Tell them how much fun we have. Tell them how much good content we're trying to put out. Tell them about Tuesday Night Live. Tell them about our TNO Productions that's going to be on the road. Just talk about us. We love it. We'll see everybody next week and tomorrow night with Phineas the Goodbye.
Yeah, see you tomorrow night, Bob.
Bye.